Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with some more World of Tanks, and after a very long time, and many requests, of course, I've decided to kind of take a look at this Super Pershing post-nerfage and see what it's about. I really didn't get an opportunity to look at it on the test server, mostly because I couldn't get into the test server, and I didn't really have the chance to sell the thing, and I don't know if I actually still have the opportunity to get my gold back, but I figured, hey, let's take a little bit of time and see what it's about now. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I know that this thing just needs a better gun. I would be happy if they gave it a gun that was actually worth something and didn't force you to use premium rounds. Without even firing a shot, without even being in this battle, I can tell you that that's what would really make me happy. It's hard to tell what should or shouldn't be in a game that's arcade, that tries to use historical accuracy excuses once in a while. You know, Super Pershings, it's not like you can just go out and find one and figure things out. There may have been two. There was at least one, and maybe two at most, that were set up, I think. But, you know, I don't think that they exist anymore, so we're not going to be able to go out and grab information. So, anyway, I'm just going to play the way I always play. We are doing this live, of course. The downside to being here is if you have an enemy that's on that side there, they can just put one into your flank. And, wow, the whole team is already just getting destroyed, so that's not going to help us, regardless of what tank you're in. You kind of need a team to help you out. So this is just normal ammunition. I'm not even going to switch to the premiums just yet. Shot into the side on a T-32 is not exactly hard. Another one in, also tracking perhaps. And he's invisible. One out for good measure. Although the base is being taken. So might have to try to move on that a little bit. That does put me at risk, of course. I've got this rock here. It's being contested. One into the T-34. Again, I'm aiming for weak spots on these American tanks. I know where to hit them, so we're going to be able to pen. I can't move past this guy, but I wanted to use him as cover. One into the Hellcat. Hellcat round, as you can see, hits space armor, no damage. KV-4 on the right. Takes another hit. And, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and cap this. Shot in, 275. Taking some damage and surviving, actually. I'm not going down there. I really don't care, to be honest. Our whole team is just fail-boating it. They can have it. I know if I go down there to try to reset at this point, it's just going to be a death for me because nobody else is going to follow me. Anyway, this is more of an experiment for me, so let's actually take a look. Strangely enough, I took several hits and managed to survive. Hits received 7, one of which was a penetration. But, you know, a lot of that just couldn't get through the spaced armor. Of course, we were perhaps dealing with lower caliber rounds incoming, so maybe that was just a good example. And we shall continue our quest to see what this thing can do post nerfage. Yeah, right now I'm not really even paying attention to the results of the games. And in fact, I'm trying to change my state of mind when it comes to this title. I'm starting to look at it like, why at times do I take it so seriously? It's just not worth it, you know? You win, you lose. Play the game the way you want to play it and just be done with it. Stop caring about what all these strangers think. It doesn't even matter. I don't know these people. So, you think I'm really gonna care about them trying to yell and complain? So, anyway, you know, that was just a typical battle there. It always ends up with a capture usually. And right now I want to really focus on seeing what kind of damage this thing can take without playing it like an idiot.
Move out.
Alright, so standard battle here. We know that with this tank, we don't want to fight too much out in the open. So I'm going to head to the left here. Now, I'm assuming we just got really, really lucky that last game because I've seen a lot of footage of this thing in action. And it hasn't been doing so well. But I want to see how it does in my hands with my tactics. That's what matters. And that's true with any tank. PZ-38NA, not a threat. Okay, Lion coming in. Taking some good early damage. Just passing us with that IS-6. Again, and I'm going to maintain standard ammunition. For now, at least. AT-15, he's going to be a tough cookie. Actually, a lot of these guys are kind of hard to deal with. From certain angles, anyway. Got nothing there. They do have artillery. That one went in us from the lower plate, as you can see there, from an IS-6. Clean through. AT-15, he's in a proper position right now, but he's trying to move across. Throw one into his side. And they're going to deal with the bulk of our forces there, so I'm going to see if I can come around them as our team is really just wrecking them. Lower, no pen, standard ammo. That one goes through. And then their IS-2's up front. So we took one shot, as you can see, the lower plate from an IS-6. IS-2 is just chilling. And I'm sure he'll be done by the time we can get up to him. Some may perhaps prefer a speed boost. I would gladly keep the same speed, but I believe that my gun should be a little bit more potent. I mean, let's face it, this is the Super Pershing. One of the major points to even creating this thing was to mount a larger gun on it. That was the problem, is, you know, we didn't have the firepower to deal with threats, and, you know, the Pershing and then building the Super Pershing. I mean, look at the size of the barrel. Even needing this, you know, balancing system to maintain the weight of the gun. That's kind of supposed to be the selling point to this thing, really. Wargaming, I think, needs to stop putting in premium tanks that require you to use APCR or premium ammunition. I mean, that's always the way I'll feel about that. Because let's face it, there are some premiums that I do regret purchasing. But, you know, here we are at the top of the list. So this might not be a great example. But we'll see how it goes. You never know. So FCM 50-ton, Type 59, Black Prince, IS-2, Tiger P, Panther. Sizing up the enemy there. I think I'm going to try to put myself into a another hull down position. Perhaps on the left.
Let's go.
I don't like getting stuck on the island. It's just not me. I mean, this tank has always had a decent rate of fire, but sometimes I'm just not sure if that's enough. As you can see, I do have 24 rounds of premium. Just in case. You can typically make the money back, but you're not going to profit, of course, if that's all you're going to use. It's really become a experience grinding tank versus a credit grinding tank. Or farming, I should say, not grinding. I'm curious about this guy on the hill, but I think our team is coming up around him. So hopefully he'll be distracted. Hopefully. They need to continue to push him. We've already lost 2 tanks. I'm going to follow around with these guys here. Try to assess the situation. Almost running in front of somebody's shot. My bad. Alright, what do we got to deal with? Any angles there? That's a Black Prince. At most, we can keep him tracked from this shot here. That's actually going to go through as well. That counted damage. That one didn't. That one did. Tiger P shows up on the other side, but we're just going to keep this guy tracked, and almost hit my AT-8. I think he's going to go for the finishing shot there. Tiger P's obviously a rough target from the front, especially with this ammunition. Most we can do is track him. Flip around here, keep an eye on that 3485. Maintain angling. Alright, no shots. They're all behind cover. And they're not going to want to peek. Tiger P is still a threat. We've tracked him, which allowed our ally to shoot him. That track was valuable there, but I don't think I can get him again because it... Actually, we tracked him one more time. There we go. Still helping out there, and that's always good. Excellent. One, two, three, four. Alright, so we've got the guys behind us, but we're capturing. So I'm just going to flip around just in case I can get a shot. Yeah, we've got the cap. And...
We didn't penetrate their armor.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but why not? You have the ammo, use it. Alright, so there, we didn't do a whole heck of a lot, but we did allow for a friendly to finish off this T-25AT. And then we also kept the Black Prince pinned with some track and a little bit of damage there. So, you know, as I always say, if you find that you're in a bad tiering, or in that case I was actually in a good one, but if you do find that you're in a tank that just can't deal with the enemy threat, you can still always track. You can track pretty much anything. So at least keep them there, get some assistance points, and help somebody with a better gun or an angle take out the opposition. Well, that's 3 rounds with the Super Pershing. I'm going to tell you right now, I know that I'm getting lucky with some of these matches. We did take quite a few hits on that first game, which showed that the space armor was still doing some work for us. You know, taking multiple hits here and some up at the top as well. But again, I'm pretty sure that I was just getting lucky on that. So I'm going to go ahead and do one more. And obviously we're doing this live. There are no transitions. You're seeing me launch into the battles, so it's nothing that I can edit. I am getting what I'm getting. So threat IS-3, T-34, Tiger 2, T-69, T-69. So now one thing I'm not aware of, did they give this any... I don't think they gave this any preferential treatment when it comes to matchmaking. I mean, because that would be the only way to really remedy the nerfs. But you know, again, it's, I guess it's going to come down to what makes this worth any more money than some other premium tank. Because many of the vehicles in this game are good in the right hands. So, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to purposely put myself into a less than stellar position with this tank. I really don't like going out here if there's not enough backup, which as you can see there really isn't. There's an SU-152, an AMX 12-ton. We've got this Indian Panzer. I'm going to help this guy out. See what happens. We're going to do it a safe way, but we're here. Alright, they do have an M12 artillery piece, and we've got a Wolverine. Really isn't a huge threat. I want to see if we get any early warning beyond that Wolverine. I'm with you, buddy. I just don't want to get stuck up there like I usually do, considering we don't have a lot of backup. Alright, let's begin our push here. Because we might have to end up flanking around. 152 is rolling up. No enemy sighted as of yet. Oh. 152. Ouch. That's not good. Wow, no shot. Bad silhouette. I don't have the shot. It is right there. And there we go. .152 pushed up a little too fast, I'd say. He's saying somebody's speed hacking. I really didn't get to witness what happened there, so I have no idea. Shot into the T-69, pulling back just so I don't have to deal with artillery. But now that we've reloaded, it's time to make our move. 1, 2, 3, 4 targets verified. City. 5 is going to be the artillery. And then there's maybe one that's unaccounted for, but there goes the M12. He's down. I'm lit. I think it would be best to perhaps go for the cap and lure them back. They're not that far, though. See, I'm kind of wanting them to come back here. Yeah.
We didn't even scratch them.
Alright, so they're back. As I knew they would be.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
See, now, normally I'd really want to switch to these premium rounds.
We didn't even scratch them. We're immobilized.
Yeah, you can see there, we managed to survive a shot, but looks like they're going to get us on the capture.
Track repaired. Drive on.
And I can't get back to base in time anyway, so that's going to be that, really.
Critical hit.
We track him, keeping him at bay.
We didn't penetrate
It's
their
not happening
armor.
there. Wiggle around a little bit.
Lost some ammo, but at least it didn't
He
explode.
puts that one into us, and you can see the two major hits that we took. One was stopped by spaced armor, but the other going through and taking some ammo. So, you know, what can you do there? I couldn't get back to base quickly enough. Perhaps I should have gone through the other route, but, you know, what are you going to do? That was just, in general, bad game. So, okay, we did a variety of matches there on different maps, and you know, I really hadn't had much of a chance to play with this thing. I couldn't get into the test server, and you know, I just haven't felt like touching it after the patch, and so this is obviously a late post-patch impressions of what the Super Pershing has become. You know, I know most people that have wanted to sell their Super Pershing have already sold it. So I'm not here to change anybody's opinions of it. I know it's just not what it used to be. In the past, the Super Pershing, a lot of people complained about its armor. When it first came out, nobody knew how to defeat it because they kept aiming for the same positions, same locations, I should say. They would aim here. They're like, why can't I get through? Well, come on, man. Think about it. But at the end of the day, once you just take the time to examine a Pershing and then go into a Super Pershing, it still has all of its other weak spots. The side armor, the rear armor, the sides of the turret. Everything else can be defeated easily if you just bypass this. Everybody knew to shoot in the cheeks. Everybody knew to shoot at the cupola. It's not that hard. Or the machine gun port. Track it. Get around it. It's slow. The gun's not amazing. There's all these bad things about it. And so for them to kind of mess with the armor even more, you know, it definitely made it even worse because now it really doesn't have anything. And it got like a minor speed increase. And apparently the terrain resistance is a little bit better. But honestly, without using APCR, which, you know, I stayed true to my word. I said I wasn't going to use any premium rounds in those matches because that was part of the test. You know, I keep some on there because I know that this gun is just inadequate. I feel that the gun needs an upgrade. I don't know if they're planning it. I know it's a premium tank and it's not supposed to be necessarily better than an upgradable tank in the tree. However, you have to make this worth something. Otherwise, why would you buy it today after it's had its nerfs? Now, I did pretty well with this thing. In all of those games, I wasn't killed at all. You know, some good matches, really, from a personal standpoint. You know, am I gonna sell it off? I don't know. I think that the period of time or the window where I could sell it and get my gold back, I don't know if that still exists or whatnot. But, you know, honestly, for me, it's kind of just a collectible in a way. And it's one of those things where I'm always wondering if they're going to change something, and maybe they will. You know, the money spent, I don't really care at this point. It's going to stay in my garage for now. And I'll continue to maybe mess around with it. I think that it's one of those things where you just got to play with it and see if you can make it work. I've been able to make a lot of tanks work that most people just can't stand. I mean, a lot of people hate the Centurions, but I can make them work. You know, most people's complaints in this game is generally related to armor. So, of course, when you take away or decrease the effectiveness of armor in a vehicle, then, yeah, everybody's going to hate on it. So, I still think it's an underpowered vehicle. It's not my favorite thing to play. It's not my favorite premium. I wouldn't buy it again if I had the choice. I don't necessarily recommend that you spend your money on it. I would say that you can put your money on a T-34 or any number of other premium tanks that'll just be a lot more fun and will earn you credits. Another one, of course, 8.8 centimeter Jagdtiger is a fantastic choice. The ammunition is so inexpensive that you can just make a killing in credits. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of other options out there. I don't recommend the Super Pershing because it's not really anything that makes it super, I guess, anymore. You know, the armor does manage to get the job done, but of course it's going to depend on the angles and the caliber of rounds that are coming at you. So it probably needs a week's worth of true testing to really see, you know, what this thing can do. But then again, you're just always going to compare it to something else at the tier and say, well, why should I use this? What really makes this stand out over other vehicles that have better rates of fire or more alpha damage or just better armor, you know? So I don't know. It with my tactics, if you play like me, it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. If you want to brawl with it, then no. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be worse than ever. But the thing to me is that the Super Pershing was never amazing in the first place in this type of a game, because your side, everything outside of the front was terrible before anyway. So every time I came up against the Super Pershing, I was never afraid of it because I knew where to aim anyway, and I know to flank it, track it, flank. So I don't know. I guess I'm kind of shocked that enough people complained to the point where they had to make changes, or maybe they looked at their statistical data and said that it's outperforming, or, you know. But even that, if they have a database that says, or data that says, hey, you know, this thing is overperforming, why is it overperforming? It's overperforming because people aren't taking the time to educate themselves in how to take it out. It's so easy to kill one of these before. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you've enjoyed this look at the Super Pershing. I know it's a little late, but I thought I would finally give you my opinion on it. So with that said, thank you so very much for joining me. I will definitely see you on the next one.